You guys got me for 2 straight days. I don't know what we're going to do with ourselves today. Today, we're going to be covering why in the hell is Trump continuously sending the National Guard to places it's not needed? I know why he's doing it. And why ain't MAGA complaining about it? Remember, MAGA and Republicans used to be the party of small government. I don't need the government treading on my states' rights. We're going to discuss that. We're going to also discuss how politics meets with entertainment and some people in entertainment that paved the way to shape policy. And I'm not talking about Laura Ingraham. She's the chick that told somebody to shut up and dribble the damn ball. But yet her ass is not even a real journalist trying to pretend like she's a journalist. We'll cover that. We're also going to talk about this huge disparity in funding for content creators trying to make film, TV, and how marginalized groups ain't getting none of the money, basically. All that and so much more. And I have a very special guest. For you guys that love eye candy, I got you. For you guys that want to get in film, I got you. Special guest Erin of Shares coming up here. That all starts right now.
I'm up early for the dealers come out. Everybody is outside till the killers come out. You ain't eating, you just act full. I'm impactful. Dozen funerals in a month. I got that pull. I will give it to niggas in all rap forms. Ignatius out right now on all platforms.
That's right. You got me, but you also got this young woman, Erin. What's going on, Miss Norman?
Hey. I love your intro. I saw Angel and Kiki in there. Super awesome. I love it.
You know, I try to represent my people as best as possible. And I'm glad to have you here because your name is calm. In a country where nothing is normal, I've got Norman up here with me today to normalize things and hopefully make a good show. How are you doing today?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you so much, Lamont, for having me. I'm really excited to be here. I find a little bit of a cold, but I'm winning. So, hey, we good.
It's all good.
You
showed up. And
yes.
Erin, tell them a little bit about what's going on with Share, the app that you were creating, teaming up with other individuals in Hollywood to kind of leverage.
Yeah, thank you. So I'm the CEO of Share. We launched Share earlier this year. We've been working on it for a couple of years. We are a global platform, tech startup that wants to connect filmmakers from anywhere in the world, any corner that they're in. They are able to connect with each other, collaborate, and most importantly, monetize their work. One of the things about Hollywood is the financial structure has been broken and it's never really been fair, but especially for people of color, LGBTQ, women, we've never really had a lot of the opportunities. They're not funding projects. And as everyone can read in any headline in the last 2 years, Hollywood is in crisis. So we built a platform to change that, to bring people together and to take control of our IP, our creativity, and actually do something about, just the unfairness of the financial structure in Hollywood.
Wow, well said. And if anyone wants to connect with her, I'll have some links in the video description. You can reach out to her and she can get you up to date on what's going on. And Erin, as a tradition when you come on my show, I like to lighten the mood. I like for you to know that this is a safe space. And so I have a segment called It's called We've Had It. It's my homage to the ladies of I've Had It podcast. I've hollered at them. They like what I do. I like what they do. We might be linking up at some point in time.
Nice.
And I want to hear, what is it going on in the world, in life in general, that you've had it with?
Oh gosh. I've had it, and I this is going to tie right back into Share. So sorry, but I've had it with remakes and not seeing original content. I'm over it. I never, just to be honest, I never was really a big fan of even people remaking music. Like, you got to do a song justice in order for me to really go with it. But just remaking and regurgitating content, and other people's art. But in the film industry, I'm so sick and tired of just these franchises, and we constantly keep seeing the same thing. I think Officer and a Gentleman got greenlit, and they're doing another Ghost, and it drives me crazy. So that I've had it with that.
I'm right with you, but I'm gonna extend it a little further. I have so had it with Hollywood needing to have a representative piece of something that represents people who spent money on an object, a book, a comic, or something before they want to fucking make it. They're making every single video game I grew up playing into a movie. Every
Yep.
single one of them.
Yep.
Every single one. And 9 times out of 10, it'd be trash movies. And I'm sitting here
Mhm.
like, Aaron could have got a little bit of that million. I could have got a 500,000. And I guarantee you, we would have put together better stories than what y'all spend all that money on these stupid ass movies. That's what I think.
Yes.
And,
Yeah,
and
especially when they spend hundreds of millions of dollars and the budgets are like crazy, but it's not original ideas.
it's terrible,
Yeah.
just terrible. And it's like the executives that work for these film studios, it's like they don't really have a choice. It's like if they want to keep their job, even though they're going to produce some poor quality, they have to go by this cookie cutter model that is put in place. And that's what most of them do. And it's not too many companies out there that like to take risks, get edgy, something that fans have been clamoring to see done. Not a
Mhm.
lot of people are willing to put money into that. So I completely agree with your "you've had it."
Yeah, thank you. You've had it too.
I've had it.
Yes.
Now, Aaron, there's something close to me that I've had it with
Okay.
that pertains to the United States. You want to know what it is? I've
I can
fucking had it with
guess.
Trump and MAGA running good people out of the United States, such as you. I've had it. I've had it. I've had it. I done lost so many friends trying to escape this buffoon. They done gone to like Europe. They done gone to Toronto. They done gone to Vancouver. Hell, one of them said they want to take their ass to Japan. I've had it with us losing good people because our government is failing us, because our government is the most unintelligent government we've ever seen in the history of the United States. They're causing an age of delightment, not enlightenment. And Aaron, I've had it. I miss you, homie, being in America. Come back.
Yeah, it's interesting because I tell people, I mean, this is the thing though, even before any of this crazy political stuff that's happening, is that I've always been a nomad. I've always been a sort of
Mhm.
gypsy. I've lived in Mexico City. I
Oh,
lived on a farm in Puerto Rico. I've traveled, like I've gone to South Africa. I've always been someone that just gets up and wants to see the world, and I love other cultures. I love to learn about other things. But, yes, America was my home for a long time. And having children now, like the gun culture in America was really something that just bothered me so much that it was like, oh, I think I want to raise them in a place that is safer for them. I feel better, I sleep better at night knowing that that danger isn't there. But I do, I tell people all the time, like my sister is thinking about going to Costa Rica or Portugal. And I'm like, you know what? We have a whole big planet out here. So if you are anywhere that doesn't serve you and make you feel, safe or good, then go. And at the end of the day, like it's sad because so many people used to use America as the place they would come for that. And now it's the opposite. You know what I mean? If people leave
yeah.
and doing that. But I do feel like, wherever makes you happy, whatever gives you peace. I know a lot of people, especially our our other brothers and sisters are going to Ghana. Lots of people
Mhm.
going to Ghana. So that to me is like, why not? Go to the motherland, like go figure it out while, all this craziness gets figured out,
100%. I stand pat right with you, my sister. I believe in that word you just spoke. And if you have the ability to do it, you should do it. By the end of this video, I'm gonna show you an idea I came up with that I think could reduce gun violence, because I've got two young children, oldest
Mhm.
being 5 and one younger. And I do worry about getting a phone call from their school saying somebody done ran up in the building, shot up the place, because I do live in a MAGA heavy county, very
Mhm.
heavy. And I'm
Yeah.
always leery to that type of thing. So, audience, let us know what you think. What have you had it with? Post your comments down below. Let us know what you think. DeMarcus Vaughn, I appreciate you and that super sticker, my brother. You always come through. You done help pay for some diapers since my children have been born. I really appreciate you, my brother. So I got to shout you out. Thank you for that. And with that, we'll move on. Erin, I have some useless knowledge for you today. Do you want to see it? You want to hear it?
Yes, bring it. Let's go.
We live in a world that has evolved. And oftentimes as humans, we mimic what animals do because animals do a lot of things to survive. Well, Erin, did you know that there's one animal that pretends to be dead so that it doesn't have to fuck its mate?
God, what? Possum?
No, good guess. Let me show you this very cunning female animal. It is
oh my gosh. What?
The European common frog.
Wow.
Listen to this. And that one is a real frog pretending to be dead because it ran up on an ugly ass male that she didn't want to get the panty draws. Okay.
Oh,
it says,
my God.
In the European common frog, females have been documented using a dramatic tactic to avoid mating with males they don't choose.
Oh my gosh.
Erin, can you imagine if women really did this in real life? Can you imagine what
it's just sleep? They're not pretending to be dead. They pretending to be
my God. Oh, she done told on everybody. The women pretend to be sleep. Lord. But Erin, here's the thing. These crummy ass men in America, they don't give a damn if you sleep or dead. They'll still try to poke a peg in the hole. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be careful. It says they fake their own death when grasped by a persistent male. When a male clasps a female, she may rotate her body to try and dislodge from him.
What?
Emit a vocal sound, a deep grunt, mimicking a male release call or a squeak to signal refusal. You mean to tell me Kermit the Frog is out here trying to grate other frogs?
But wait, here's the question though. Do the male frogs buy it? Do they say, oh, okay, and walk away?
Well, let me finish reading. Let's see. Let's see. If those don't work, she may go completely limp, stretch out her limbs, and remain motionless, convincing the male she's dead. The male often releases her, allowing her to escape. Researchers believe this eccentric, extreme tactic evolved because in dense mating swarms, multiple males can cling to one female and even form quote unquote mating balls, which can lead to drowning or serious injury of the female. The death-defying behavior can reduce her risk of giving her more control over who she mates with. Erin, the floor is yours. You done told the secret on women. Women, instead of playing dead, they play sleep, but it don't work on American males. Take the floor. What do you think about these cunning, crafty female frogs?
I think they're genius. And I think that they are incredible species. And just like any other female in other species, they're incredibly smart and intelligent. And that is pretty awesome. I mean, you know, we could learn a lot from animals, reptiles, amphibians, whatever, you know, but that is really, really fascinating to me. And I used to watch a lot of National Geographic back in the day, and you would see birds do certain dances to get, you know, like all these fascinating things about them. And I've never seen anything like this before. And I think, how awesome is that? That's really cool, because no one should be forced to mate or do anything. And besides women pretending to be asleep, they also pretend to have headaches. So the frogs win. Those frogs win, because dead is a whole new level.
And women also pretend to be on their menstrual cycle.
Oh, that too.
I done heard it all in my 45 years. And what I can say about most men, we don't give a damn about any of those conditions. We getting it in. Pull out that towel, girl.
Simple minds. And I'm sure those frogs were simple too. It's like, oh, dang, she's dead. Let me go to the next one. That's hilarious.
Erin,
Wow.
how dare you talk about Kermit the Frog like that? Poor
I mean,
fella.
I'm just saying.
Lord have mercy. Post your comments, y'all. Little known fact for today to get you laughing. The frog female plays dead. If she was a human, she would definitely be a left-leaning female. Erin, now it's time to get serious. There has been some real things going on in America that are so concerning, so alarming, and too many people seem to be okay with it. And I'm going to show you a clip where some people decided enough is enough. We don't care about Trump sending the National Guard to our place. We're going to protect our brethren. And then I want you to get in and tell me, is this some of the stuff you've seen coming before you decided to leave America? Take a look at this.
La migra! Hey! No!
In the face of all that, Erin, just regular everyday citizens came to this guy rescue, and he was able to get away from those ICE agents that just look like they think they're fake ass WWE celebrities or superstars or something. When you see this happening in major cities in America, it doesn't need to be happening. Was this some of the thought going through your mind when you decided to take the leave from America?
It's interesting. I saw this. I think John Leguizamo, somebody posted this, and it's heartbreaking. Yeah, I mean, this is one of the reasons, that I decided that, it doesn't feel safe for me anymore, or just, but even though it's not happening to me, I think when it's happening to our fellow brothers and sisters, it's happening to all of us, whether they're Latino, Black, LGBTQ, just the minorities in America. It's really sad. And um, that video actually gave me a little hope that people were standing up, because it's just regular, people too, just covering their faces. And it's tragic. It's really sad that that's happening right now. And yeah, it plays a role because I feel like there's a lot of things happening that are lawless, and there doesn't really seem to be consequences right now. So it's alarming and it's sad, but I'm glad that they all came to his rescue, and I hope we see more of that.
I concur with you. And I was happy to see people just come together and stand up, because one of the things this administration is trying to do is intimidate people into making any kind of move. They don't want you to believe or pay attention to the news. They don't want you to get out here and live your life. They don't want you to support your friends and your family. But ultimately, what bothers me the most, Erin, are the people who are in power positions, CEOs, corporate folks, wealthy people that are just sitting back watching this happen and not getting involved to help with justice. That's what bothers me the most. And it also bothers me that other fellow Americans are okay with this just simply because they want to hate someone else. And the thing that they don't understand about dictators and authoritarians, Erin, is that they will eventually come for you on something that you care about. Right
Mm-hmm.
now, they seem like they're your buddies because they're going after people that they have villainized. But
Yeah.
eventually, they will come for you. And the problem that is alarming for me is that the very people that love to see this don't even understand how Donald Trump and his administration has shoved the banana in their tailpipe when it comes to the different things the government is supposed to be supporting to help uplift their life, cutting Medicaid, cutting access to health, cutting food for their kids, cutting out other things that supplement their communities. They don't realize it because they're too caught up in the rapture of loving to see cruelty to the people that they have been taught to villainize.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
that's my take on it, Erin.
Yeah, and I couldn't agree more. I absolutely agree. And it's sad. It's really, really sad. And, when people come together or just have empathy for those that aren't like, us, and, I just feel like the world is such a better place. But social media and just, the last couple of years, it's allowed things to spread like wildfire, and it allows people to be hateful and not have any consequences, and we're starting to see a little bit of that with cancel culture. Excuse me, I'm fighting a little bit of cold, but we start to see a little bit of that stuff, and people are losing their jobs and doing stuff like that. And when they do come out and say heinous or terrible things, they're being held accountable. But we're just in a different world than how we grew up. You know what I mean? It's a really crazy space we're in right now, where it feels like information is at lightning speed, but so is misinformation. And that's really the biggest problem right now, is that there's a lot of misinformation that goes so fast and it goes viral so quickly. And then people are used to their channels and avenues where they get that misinformation and they stick with it. And so we need more truth tellers. We need more, people who aren't being censored to speak their truth and to stand up. And I agree with you about the CEOs. So yeah,
Yeah.
completely.
I'll follow you up and just say that you hit the nail on the head when you said that because of social media, misinformation, and let's just call it what it is, Erin, because you're so polite and sweet. You're such a female. You're such a nice lady. They're just fucking lying. And they're lying and getting away with it with impunity because the people that run the social media networks are shutting down the folks telling the truth, because lying, creating a delusion, gets more clicks, makes more money, and nobody wants to hear the person who's telling the truth. If I
Yeah.
tell you it's better for you to eat broccoli than it is to eat 2 honey buns, you're not going to be excited about that broccoli, but your ass is sure enough going to catch a woody for those honey buns. And that's what social media has realized. If we
Mhm.
flood the zone with lies, hate, we can not only get more money from audiences, but we can also keep these people dumb, which
Mm.
allows us to put policy in place that they don't even know is going to hurt them in the back end of that. And
Yeah.
as I said, I need more CEOs and people in power positions to step up and say no. The next subject we're going to cover, Erin, are those who risked everything to step up when they had a microphone to do so. And one of the most famous people that did this, and they wasn't making this kind of money back in his day. This was before the civil rights era. Muhammad Ali,
Yeah.
everything to stand up for his people. And this is going to be one of his greatest speeches I can recall seeing, that showed you just how an entertainer or entertainment can shape policy and bring awareness to people that don't even know what's going on. Take a look at this, Erin.
Mhm.
I'm saying you talking about me about some draft, and all of you white boys are breaking your neck to get to Switzerland and Canada and London. I'm not gonna help nobody get something my Negroes don't have. If I'm gonna die, I'll die now, right here fighting you. If I'm gonna die, you my enemy. My enemy is the white people, not Viet Congs or Chinese or Japanese. You my opposer when I want freedom. You my opposer when I want justice. You my opposer when I want equality. You won't even stand up for me in America for my religious beliefs, and you want me to go somewhere and fight, but you won't even stand up for me here at home.
Oh, yeah, I've
Wow.
seen that. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Aaron,
Uh-huh.
he said that in an era where racism was worse than it is now. Even if you can believe that, young people, it was worse than it is now. And
Yeah.
he said that with his whole chest out. And
Yeah.
he was not making the kind of money that these kids are making these days. So, Aaron, speak to what he did for bringing up policy that can affect change as an entertainer, basically sacrificing some of his career to see that people like me and you could do better.
Yeah, my father was like the biggest fan of Muhammad Ali, and so I grew up knowing everything about him. And he was, obviously very well respected in our family. But a lot of people don't also know too is that he turned down a lot of money. Like liquor companies and cigarette companies, they came to him and wanted him to, be like their brand ambassador, you know what I mean, for
Mhm.
Cadillac. And he was like, no, like these things are killing my people. I'm not going to do it. And that
Mhm.
type of, oh gosh, I mean, they don't make them like him anymore. You know what I mean? Like people that just are not willing to be bought. And that's really super important. And, there's a lot, it's interesting because a lot of people say, like, politics and entertainment, they shouldn't, and I never agreed with that because I feel like entertainers, excuse me, are citizens too. And it's like George Clooney is for, human rights. DiCaprio is
Mhm.
climate change. Like
Right.
everybody, Jane Fonda, she stood up and was a activist for anti-war during Vietnam. And it's like, a lot of these people, there are a lot of entertainers that do take that risk and that do stand up
Mhm.
and say something. Sadly, there's not enough, just
Right.
in the world, the CEOs. But back to Muhammad Ali, what he did, one is the most attractive thing ever. Just he also had a language about him and a way that he spoke that was, pre-hip hop, you know what I mean? And did things
Right.
that, was incredible. And he, on his ethics and on the type of his morality and who he was able to inspire people. You know what I mean? To kind of lead the way. And I feel like if you have a voice like that, if you have a mic and a stage, you know, I believe it is some of your duty to stand up and say something about injustice. You
Mhm.
could keep your opinion about certain things, but when it comes to lives being lost, injustice, I do always applaud people that do that. And Muhammad Ali was like the best. And he just was someone that I don't know if we'll see that again because he was never bought. He always stood on principle and what he believed. And that is, admirable.
100%. In
Mhm.
today's day and age, we've had some entertainers do it. LeBron James stands up for the community most of the
Yeah.
time. I would say about 95% of the time, and stands pat on it. And he's always told to shut up and dribble. And
Mm.
we've also seen Colin Kaepernick
Uh,
lose his career basically um,
Yep.
because he was taking a knee for injustice, and
Mhm.
he was told by the military, "This is what you do," and MAGA didn't believe it. And when they find out the truth, they still didn't want to believe it. And so that boy lost his career trying to fight for injustice.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, Aaron, just don't have the courage to do that. Like to
Oh,
them,
yeah.
it's like I've got to get enough money in my bank account so I can literally have fuck you money, is what they're
Mhm.
trying to do.
Mhm.
And Aaron, I'm gonna be honest with you. There are a lot of people that bailed on me from my bigger YouTube channel because I started going more political just this year when you know who got in office because I seen what was coming.
Mhm.
And it's just not, I'm a fighter. I'm an activist. It's just not within me to shut up and see this stuff happening without trying to educate people on how they can navigate it, where they can go to get help, how you can get through it, what these bills mean, what these laws mean, what these executive orders mean, what can you do to get through day to day. And I did lose some subscribers from my other channel, but you know what? I came over here, started a new one, and in 4 months got 12,000 subscribers almost. Still trying to help people learn and still doing the entertainment thing, but finding a way to do both. And that's what good people have done, like Muhammad Ali, like LeBron James, like Colin Kaepernick, like Jane Fonda, like
Mm.
Leo, like Scarlett Johansson, and so many others have
Yeah.
found a way to still get the political, social justice message out there, all while still being able to be entertainers and be beloved. And we just need more of it.
Oh, absolutely. And I try to, respect everyone's decisions, their religion, their politics, and everything. That's always been my stance. And even with, share what we believe, but like I said, when it comes to the injustice of, human lives being lost and violence and, the things that actually are humanitarian, you know what I mean?
Right.
Issues, that's where, I definitely have a stance on that. And it will always be with humanity and peace and, everybody having rights and being able to live in peace, live without the violence. And, that's always been my stance on this. And I will continue. And I'm raising my children to have the same belief, to care about other people, to respect other people, regardless of their background or their political beliefs. But when it comes to violence and we see nationalists and shootings and all these things going on and nobody's saying anything or doing anything, that to me is like the scariest part about it. I feel like we are kind of numb to what's happening in the world. Everyone's on their scrolling that, one story that, back in the day you would hear about that would be news for weeks is like lost in one day. And it's,
Right.
whether it's a shooting or, somebody found hanging or this, it's so we're living in like the craziest times right now. But I have to say that, I do think, and I've watched your channel and everything, and mostly it was, entertainment. And I know now you're doing like the political thing. And I feel like, kudos and congratulations to you for standing up and using your voice and your platform to, try to help people. One thing that I really feel is important, and people can protest and everyone has the right to do that. But it's like, really, the one thing that changes everything is the dollar.
Hmm.
I'm sorry. That's it. It really is what it's about. So I think that when people start to realize that and come together with that power, that's when we see real change. Because those CEOs, all these people you're talking about, they're all bought too.
Yeah, definitely. The problem is they figured out that there's a segment of poor people who are going to always hate, hating on other people because their life ain't better. And the more they feed into their hate, the more they relinquish their power to an Elon Musk, to a Donald Trump, so that they can do mean and hateful things so that these people can get their rocks off, all while those people that you're talking about that have the money and the power continue to gain those things without the people who don't have it. The only thing they getting out the deal is they're happy to see their neighbor's house get burned down while they're in it. And they're okay with that as long as they get to see someone suffer. And we've got to get people to stop falling for the banana in the tailpipe when it comes to that. And so, speaking of money, Erin, I'm going to pivot you to money in Hollywood. Erin, did you know that minorities, and in particular minority women, when it comes to content creators, filmmakers, anyone within that realm of creating something for TV and movie, would you believe that women get less than 1% or somewhere around 1% of all the billions floating? I got a video for you, Erin. Take a look at this guy who has just been beating his head trying to figure out a way how to break in and get some funding. And he did some research and got all the numbers. It's going to blow your mind. Audience, be prepared to be like, what in the hell? Take a look.
According to the data, 89.3% of VC-backed startups are led by men. 71.6% are led by white founders. 35.3% of startups are based in one metropolitan statistical area. McKinsey did some research and found that roughly 1% of all VC dollars went to Black founders, 1.5% to Latino founders. Women-founded teams received just under 2% of all VC funds. Black and Latino women founders, 0.1% of all VC dollars. This is disgusting.
Tell me about it.
Right. And ladies and gentlemen, that same parallel goes into what filmmakers are doing, because filmmakers are searching for venture capitalists to help them get their films made. And Erin is right here bridging a gap between a tech startup and something that can help people get started in film. And she has seen the burden of what this gentleman is saying. So Erin, speak to us about your experience and some of the data and information you have about the barriers it is to Black people and minorities getting their hands on money so that they can get their dreams started.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely has been a rough road. I'll just say that. We have something like we've been featured in Deadline Hollywood, we've been featured in the Associated Press. We know that what we're building is a disruptor, and disruptors like Uber, Airbnb, Netflix was a disruptor. We've created something that's never been done before with Share, and creating financial sustainability, creating a profit sharing tool within our platform for back end points calculation where everybody can negotiate these terms and everybody wins. There's no above the line or below the line on a budget. If you work on a movie, you get to participate in its success. Like the whole formula for Hollywood has been only the movie stars, only the directors, the executive producers, sometimes not even the writers, got to participate in the profit sharing. So even after the movie left the theater and it went global, whatever monies were made globally, they got to still make money while everybody else that worked on the movie didn't. So it's been very, very just unfair for years. And we created something that is changing that. Our response has been incredible. And we got filmmakers from Japan, UK, Canada, everyone reaching out to tell us, like, this is awesome. You give us hope. How can we go? So we're taking all this information, pitching it to VCs, pitching it to private investors. And everyone is like, well, we're even showing them the examples. You know what I mean? Like, for instance, Mandy Network is a staffing platform with 3.3 million subscribers, and they charge $14.99 a month, which means they generate over $49 million a month. We have a platform that's global, and we're doing something, by the way, that like Coleman Domingo's movie Sing Sing just did. And they shared the equity and they sold it to A24. Matt Damon and Ben Affleck have a company called Artist Equity where they're sharing all the profits too. So the creators in our community, Black, white, whatever, they all agree that, it's very lopsided and that we do need to share. But I have had so many pitch meetings in the last 2 years without people really taking us seriously or understanding that what we're building is something that's never been done before, but that's why they should invest, because Uber was never done before. Can you imagine if someone told you like so many years ago that you would be jumping in a stranger's car via a cell phone to take you where you need to go, or stay in the night in someone's house with Airbnb, or actually DVDs being delivered to your mailbox with Netflix, and now you're able to stream content. Like, all of these things were never done before, ever. And so, what we've been trying to pitch to people is like, we need the capital to do something. And these are, billion-dollar valuations, and Patreon is what, 4.6 billion. These tech companies are killing it. And they're some of the most wealthiest people that have been made. The billionaires that have been made in the last 20 years have been through tech. And so we're sitting here with the founder of a tech startup company that is revolutionizing the film industry. And it's been the hardest thing for us to raise funding. And seeing that video is like, oh my gosh, I knew already that we were less than 2%, but 0.1% is actually very disgusting and sad. And we don't know where to go. We're like, we have a WeFunder where we're inviting filmmakers, execs at Warner Brothers and people who are over the system too. Like, come and invest. You can invest with as little as $200. Like, we can make this change, but we got to do it collectively. And I wanted our community to, invest so that we own a piece of something that's going to take off. But it's been really, really hard, just to be very honest.
Oh, I know. Trust me, I know. I've done a couple of businesses in my life and had to try to raise local money. And I always insidely joke with people that if I was a white man trying to raise the same money, they would give it to me. If I would have been the founder of Uber and I went to a white guy as a black man and said, look, dude, I got this idea. I'm going to have my phone connect to your car. You're going to be like a taxi cab service. He would have laughed my ass right on up out of that office. He would laugh. I know the security issue. He would have had every single barrier you can think of to not give me that money. We have got to do something to curb the hierarchy that controls this money. We've got to find some kind of billionaire or someone who sees the value in what minorities can do.
Yeah.
And just my own anecdotal experience in trying to raise money, I like to try to go to my community to get money, but where I lived at, my community didn't have a lot of money.
Yeah.
And few black people that did have enough wealth wouldn't share enough to get the momentum going, or they was trying to take more shares of the business than what a white venture capitalist guy would do. It was damn near like, you own the business now. You'll give me 5% of what I've worked for, what I put an ideal into, what I've come up with the schematics, the plans for. And then you're hovering over me, not giving me autonomy to see the vision grow. And so we are really caught up in, as the military guys would say, a clusterfuck, where we've got to continue to try to find these people who have that open wallet that would not only help broadcast what we're doing in this industry, but hear the message of these people that can hardly get money are the ones who have the greatest ideas that could give long-term success. And that would be one way to overcome some of the issues that we're seeing with this venture capital and funding and creating in Hollywood.
Oh, absolutely. And, when you think about people of color too, Black people invented like the clothes dryer, the security
Right.
system, sprinkler
Yeah.
systems,
The traffic light.
the traffic light. I mean, laptop, like every single thing, but but we don't get to participate in the generational wealth of a lot of these things.
Right.
And that is really the saddest part about all of this. And so one of the things that I want to do is open the door for all filmmakers, regardless of their race, background, everybody. Like, Share is all about our community because everybody has a story. And but as a Black CEO and someone who's standing in this space, and I had a father who had a lot of ideas, but he was born in 1937. And he wasn't able to see a lot of his things come to fruition because of laws and because of discrimination and, racial injustice and stuff like that. But I can, and I want to create that generational wealth, but I want to spread it out. And I feel like if we come together, because the VCs aren't seeing that. And when you go and talk to them, they're looking at risk and, I'm with you. Like, even if you did go with the same idea as Uber, they don't take you as seriously. And a lot of people don't think that's real, but it's real. And
It's real.
Quality is so real when it comes to this type of funding. But one of the things that we have been talking about with Share is just like, we got to make the difference. We have to stand up and do it ourselves. And when I say that, it's like recently, when you think about like everything with the DEI and Target, and people were like, done, not going, their stocks were like went down. And when you continue, and I don't know if you remember this too, but in the 90s, Oprah got on her show. She was the most influential woman in the world at the time. And she talked about beef and how unhealthy beef was. And I don't know if you remember this, but the whole beef farming industry tried to sue her because of her power, because their stocks went down. They lost so much money just because of one thing this Black woman said on one of her episodes, which is crazy. That should have taught all of us the power of the dollar, the power of that we collectively have. And that's what Cher is really trying to say to Hollywood. Is like, oh, okay, they spent $210 billion last year in 2024 on content. The most has ever been spent. So Hollywood is not broke. Hollywood is in crisis. People aren't working, but Hollywood is not broke at all. They got the money. They're just regurgitating stories and working with the same, people and the same Hollywood stuff. They're working in their system. But we as a people, the biggest power we have is our spending dollar and the power of numbers. We're bigger than them. So we're over 87%. So it's like, you guys, if we show up and we show out, we create change. I might not be able to get that same VC funding that anyone else does, but if the community is behind me and says, you know what, we're going to join for $9.99 a month. Screw that. We spend more, on Hulu. Let's help build this company up, or we're going to invest for $200 and help, get this off the ground and see change. And this is fans, audiences, this is everything. That's when we really see change. But it's, as much as I want to believe and I hope, but my father, who is now passed, my grandmother, it's like, it's not about, the protest. And I hate to say that it is about the protest, but it's with protesting with purpose, and it's with the dollar. That's what it all comes down to. And that's just my belief.
Mhm. Well, your belief is certainly supported by several examples. And here's an example where your belief is supported wholeheartedly. Jimmy Kimmel. I'm going to show you a clip. And when the shit hit the fan with him, people went to Disney and said goodbye to those subscriptions, played Disney's hand. Next thing we know, Kimmel is back. Take a look at this. And this coincides with what you just said.
We've had a hell of a couple of weeks, but I did get some exciting news this weekend. According to a new poll from YouGov, which is a serious polling site, or they were before this, I am more popular than the President of the United States. Thank you. Well, thanks. You remember the guy who keeps saying I have no ratings? Well, that makes two of us. They polled more than 1,000 people, and I lead Trump by 16 points. I'm at +3. He's at -13. It's nice, but it feels like, considering the fact that I'm not a convicted felon friend of Jeffrey Epstein, and I've never paid off a porn star or sent a team of masked goons into a park to pull an old lady away from her grandchildren, I feel like my rating should be higher, maybe, than... At this point, finding a toenail in your salad has a 7-point lead over Donald Trump.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, Erin, I was going to say, like, those numbers should be higher, because you could be a fire ant sitting on somebody's pimple and your ass should get more votes than Donald Trump. However, what happened with Jimmy Kimmel, ladies and gentlemen, is a prime example of what Erin is saying should be able to happen in our community. So, Erin, given that example of what you said, the floor is yours again. Talk about how they came together for him and Disney lost like $2-3 billion in a week.
4? I think it was 4.
Oh, wow.
And the shareholders were like, whoa, hold on. Wait a minute. What is happening here? Because the people got, now here's the difference though. It's different if the people took to the streets of Hollywood Boulevard where they taped Jimmy Kimmel. I've been there. Right. When I used to be an executive assistant to Jamie Foxx. So when I worked for Jamie, we've been in the show. And to be honest too, his green room is so awesome. He got video games and pool tables. It's super cool. But imagine if people just took to the streets, right? And protested. Disney might have paid attention and said, oh, wow, people, when they start canceling that Hulu, that Disney Plus, that got their attention. And that is what, honestly, I say all the time, there is, you put your power is how you, where you spend your money. And so I'm a conscious spender. I really do think about companies that are green for the planet, and so many, and support women. And if I hear about a company, if I'm shopping and it's like, oh, this is owned by women and this is this, I'm gonna go over here more than the big corporate giant. But they did the same thing with the show Veronica Mars. I remember years ago, they were going to take that off the air, and all these fans got together. It's like, we're not going to watch the WB or CW, whatever. We're done if you don't bring it back. And they were like, okay, season 5 is coming, and we have to understand that that's the only language they know. Honestly, right now, if every single person that of color that just felt, grievances because of the injustice of, what's being flagged on social media. Imagine if everyone was like, we're quitting Facebook and Instagram. We're deleting. If it was a huge movement, do you understand how quick those people would try to jump and do something else or figure something else out? Or, all they understand is money. And that's what makes it all go around. And it ties into politics. It ties into everything. And so if we want real change, especially in our community, like you're saying, like Black dollars and supporting other Black founders. Like when I see other Black founders, I subscribe. Callow is another company that's similar to Shares, different, but I became a member. Why? Because it's a Black woman CEO. Like, why not? Like, why aren't we supporting each other and helping build each other up? And, same thing when this pertains to the industry. When we all come to one place and we are building something and we're there and we're showing that we are standing together, but we're taking our dollars away from these companies. Like, why are any filmmakers, spending money on these streaming channels that don't buy your content? Like, I get it. Apple, Apple TV, Apple has a lot of great shows. So I do have a subscription, but I'm just saying that. And, we want to support creators too. So, obviously we want to do that. But I just feel like if you're not getting what you need from the industry, you need to think about how you spend within the industry and what you need to do. And that's across the board in anything, music industry. Where's your dollar going? And until we really get that as a community, like, who's the new Black tech inventor that has a similar Amazon? Who is that? Does it exist? If it does, we should jump onto that. We should all become members and do that. I want to know. Give me the information because I'll sign up for it. But that's the only thing in my mind and what I know historically that actually moves the needle.
Yeah, I've been involved in politics, and I can tell you right now, most politicians, as long as there is a good line between them and protesters, all they do is laugh at protesters. And I hate to be the bearer of bad news. All they do is laugh at protesters until the protesters get violent. You see, you saw that insurrection on the Capitol. You saw what happened there. You see, anytime that there's some kind of racial issue, nobody gets attention until, dumpsters get knocked over, glass buildings get broken into. Other than that, they could give or care less about your peaceful protest. That means nothing. As long as you're not violent, they don't care. But your money, if you protest with your money, that gets their attention. That gets their will. That makes them get up and do something, because at the end of the day, as much as this country tries to fake like it's about morality, the morality is the almighty dollar, ladies and gentlemen. And you have power in that dollar. Use it. Use it wisely.
Yeah, absolutely. And that to me is, if we collectively come together and say, okay, and that's what I've been really spreading with shares, like, you guys, this isn't just a platform, this is a movement. Hollywood is not going to greenlight. Like, I mean, if they're not greenlighting Viola Davis, she got 14 years to make The Woman King. Like, she is a beast. She's one of the most talented, amazing women in the industry. They're not doing it for Whoopi. She had to create a Kickstarter. Like, if they're not doing it for them, the rest of us are screwed. So what do? Do we sit? Do we keep waiting? And this again is across the board with anything. If you don't like what you see, if you a company is supporting anything that you're not in alignment with, don't spend money there. Don't give them more power, because you're right. Protesting is not going to change it. You got to just take away their power and they go out of business, just like Netflix put Blockbuster out of business. They created something, everyone's dollars went to Netflix. Bye-bye,
Right.
Blockbuster. You know what I mean? It's the same thing that happens all the time. But, now we have like tech bros and people that are billionaires, and they've created things that just continue to make them richer and richer every day. But we, as a people, continue to contribute to their wealth. And until we really want to see something happen, we got to change that. We got to really make a difference and change it. And so I'm all about that. I always say this is a revolution. Share is a movement. We're trying to do something never done before. And when we all show up, all those distributors that were begging, they will come to us. They always come to the party. Wherever the party's at, that's where they come. Just like Netflix launched, all of a sudden now Peacock is streaming and this one is streaming and everyone's streaming because they jumped on the Netflix bandwagon, and that's why it failed. You know what I mean? They don't want to go and show up until the party's there. So we got to create the party, pretty much.
Wow. Well, Erin, it has certainly been a pleasure to have you on tonight. You speak with such command and intelligence and follow through. It's hard for me to see people sitting across from you saying, "Girl, take my whole wallet." It's hard for me to see them say no. It's hard for me to see that, but I do know how scrappy some people can be. And I really want to thank you for coming and having this honest, in-depth conversation about politics and the cross-section of entertainment and the role that we can play in helping our community grow some great things. And I just want you to shout out, share how people can reach you, and then we'll close this up.
Yes. You could join us for free. And I encourage, whether you are a filmmaker or not, if you're a fan of movies, if you are an investor and you want to invest in projects, you could go to www.theshareplatform.com. We're also on Instagram at Share Films, and we do have a WeFunder. This is a shameless plug, but we do have a WeFunder where we're, inviting people from anywhere to invest in Share for as little as $200. You can invest in our tech startup. I don't know if you guys know, but Chameleonaire invested in Lyft really early on. Ashton Kutcher invested in Uber. And if you guys want to invest in something, in a tech startup, and see something grow and have equity in that, our WeFunder campaign, you could go to WeFunder and look for Share platform there as well.
Wow. Way to go, Erin. I have an announcement for people too. Ladies and gentlemen, my boss, Angel, sent me this to let you guys know a film we worked on is going to be dropping, premiering in LA November the 9th. I think that is. Tickets are on sale right now. If you want to see some of the work me and Angel have worked on, my boss is Angel. If you're in the Hollywood area, LA area on the 9th, come get a ticket, see what we're working with. Bomani J. Story wrote this, put this thing into motion. I got on board with him and my good homie, Denzel Whitaker. And you got the new guy that's playing, he's playing Carlton on the new Fresh Prince. He's in this as well. And some other great actors. If you want to see something that is really entertaining, and you might even see your boy, come to Hollywood November the 9th, spend some time with us. This will play around 5 o'clock, 6 p.m. then, and enjoy yourself. And come kick it with us and see how you like what we're working on together. Erin,
I saw this. Wait, really quick. I went to a screening with your boss, Angel. And this was so good. Original content, unique, funny. Congratulations on that to all of you guys. It's really, really awesome. So people should absolutely get tickets and check it out. So yes, congrats.
Thank you. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. And this woman is hard on film. She's worked in film. So if she says it's good, damn it, it's good, ladies and gentlemen. Damn it, it's good.
Yes.
Post your comments down below. We're going to get ready to get out of here. Erin, if you were sleeping one night, just having a nice dream, you're in Candyland somewhere, you wake up and open your eyes and you see this face hunching over top of you,
Oh
what would
God,
you do?
Lord have mercy. Oh my God.
Would you
I'd be
play
that
dead
frog.
like that frog?
Great minds. I'd be just like that frog.
Just like that. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for us before we get into trouble. Till that next Sex is Hell video, we'll see you. Here's my favorite outro, Jasmine Crockett. We'll see you on the next.
Somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body. Somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body. Somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body.